So we are a Heart of Dakota family. My son has done all the guides all through Creation to Christ. He is going to be starting 5th grade in the fall. And this year we are not going to be doing Heart of Dakota. We are not quitting Heart of Dakota. I simply just wanted him to slow down. I wanted him to do the Resurrection to the Reformation in 6th grade, so that way he could do this guide in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So even though we're not going to use Heart of Dakota this coming year, he is not going to miss any of the guides because there are only 11 guides with Heart of Dakota. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and show you what we are going to be using this year for 5th grade. So first we have his Bible. With Heart of Dakota, he's used to having his own quiet time every morning where he reads from the Bible, he has a prayer, he does a worship song. So he's used to that, and I wanted him to continue having his quiet time. So we purchased this. This is Meeting with Jesus. It's a daily Bible reading plan for kids. And this is something he could do on his own. And I really liked that. He can still use his own regular Bible along with this. So to start off, it asks for any prayer requests, and then he can write them down here. And then there's a memory verse. And every day it tells you what scripture verses to read and from what book. And then it has the question, and he writes the answer right here. And every day it's the same thing. It's different verses, different question, and then he writes his answer. It even has Saturday and on Sunday when he is watching church, which right now we're just watching church on TV, he can take notes. He can write the sermon title, sermon verse, one that stood out to him, and he can take notes here. And that's how it works for every day of the year. What I like also is that he gets to use his actual Bible to look up all the scripture verses that it's telling him. So he can use these together. And this is the Bible that he's currently using. Along with that, we're going to be using this Hymns for a Child's Heart. And this is part of the Heart of Dakota curriculum. We've actually gone through this book already, but we really enjoyed it. In the back, it has a CD with all the hymns, which makes it easier to sing that way. And then before the hymn, it gives you a little background and a little history of how the hymn came to be. And it has really nice pictures as well. Along with that, I have this thankfulness journal from Memoria Press. And this is just a simple journal. With this, he can practice his cursive, and it says, "Dear Lord, thank you for the blessings of this day." And then he gets to write down what he's thankful for in this day. So he just does one page every day. And then together as a family, we're going to do the Radical book for kids. This was also part of the Heart of Dakota curriculum. This came with his books from last year, but there was also an option for a different book, and that's the one we chose. So we didn't get to do this one last year. So we'll just do it this year together as a family. So this will be like a family Bible study that we'll do. I also want to do these two little books. These are from Master Books, and it's a short history of the story of the Pledge of Allegiance and the story of In God We Trust. So this will be something we do together as well. And then for math, last year he did teaching textbooks, and it really worked well for him. I thought they did a much better job at teaching math than I did, so we're going to stick with that. He is going to be starting 5th grade, but he's going to be in Math 4. Last year he'd completed all of Math 3, and before that, we were trying out different math curriculums to see which one would work best with him. And because of that, I feel like he got a little bit behind, and I didn't want to just bump him over to the grade he's supposed to be in. I want him to really understand the math concepts and how to do all the math problems. So for that reason, I just kept him in Math 3, and that way he wouldn't miss anything. So he'll be doing Math 4, and we did get the notebook. He wanted to see which one he liked better, if he would like using the notebook or just using plain graph paper, which is what we did last year. He just used one of these notebooks. So whichever one he prefers to use, that's what he'll do. For science, we're going to be doing Our Weather and Water. And this book is also scheduled in Heart of Dakota for the Resurrection to the Reformation, I believe. But it gives you two options. The other option is astronomy, which is the one that we're going to be doing with the guide. So I thought, since we're not going to be doing this one with the guide, this year would be good for this. Plus I asked him, I gave him 3 options for science, and he liked this one the best. So this one is by Answers in Genesis, and I believe Master Books sells a different version of this one, I believe. So along with this, we're going to add in a few other books. In the teacher's manual, in the back, it gives you a resource guide and then your supply list to do all the science experiments. But here, they suggested a few other books that would go along well with this curriculum. So since it's going to be for the whole year, I thought that we would have plenty of time to add in the other books. So these are the books that they suggest. One is the New Weather book, and in the table of contents you see, so here is the ocean, the sea floor. Before that, we're going to study the weather and climate. So when we get to the part of the weather, that's when we'll go ahead and also add this book. And then they also recommend the Magic School Bus Inside the Hurricane. My kids have always liked Magic School Bus, so this will be something they will look forward to. And this book looks great too. It has beautiful photographs. And when we get to the section of the ocean, we will add in the new ocean book. And along with that, we're also going to be reading The Magic School Bus on the Ocean Floor. The last two books they recommend are Weather in the Bible and Frozen in Time. So my oldest is very into dinosaurs, the Ice Age, and mammoths, so he was very excited about this book here. For health, we chose God's Wondrous Machine, and this is by Master Books as well. There are 3 books so far in the series. I believe there are going to be more books added, but so far these are the 3 books. And out of the 3, my son chose to do this one this coming school year. This comes with the teacher's guide, and we're probably going to use the guide to follow the schedule that they suggest. That way it makes it a lot easier for me. For classical studies, we're going to be reading Famous Men of Rome. So last year we read the Greek myths, and then this year we're going to read Famous Men of Rome. The following year in the Heart of Dakota guide, they have scheduled, I believe it's the Famous Men of the Middle Ages, which is the one that follows this one. So that will work out perfect. For his spelling, we have been using Spelling You See, and it's been working great. He is in the letter D. Last year he finished part 1. He didn't get to finish part 2, so he's going to continue with the second book. One of the reasons why I like Spelling You See, because it has copywork, like the Charlotte Mason philosophies. It kind of follows that a little bit. So there is copywork, and then at the end, there is dictation. And he likes this, he enjoys it. I like it too, and it's been working really well for us. So we're just going to continue with this. Once he's done with that book, he'll continue with letter E, and this is American Spirit. Here's part 1 and 2. He will probably only get to book 1. For his handwriting, we're going to continue with A Reason for Handwriting. And we've used this for years as well, and it's worked fine. So their words that they practice are from a Bible verse, and they practice different words throughout the week, and then on the last day, they have the whole verse for them to write out. So as part of the Charlotte Mason style of learning, which we try to follow, I pulled this book out. This is a copybook. So half of the book looks like this. So they would do copy work. But then the second half looks like this. So they have a whole passage, and this is where they start transcription. So I'm just going to have him do the second half of this so he can practice doing some transcription. For his writing, we're going to continue with writing and rhetoric. He did book 1 last year and he really liked it. I liked it a lot myself as well. So we're going to continue with book 2. For his grammar, we're going to continue with language lessons for today. He did grade 4 last year, and out of all the different grammar curriculums that we've tried in the past, this one has been the best fit for him, and I really like it as well. It is also very Charlotte Mason style, so we'll continue with this. And this is from My Father's World. For his geography, we purchased Passport to America and Children's Atlas of the U.S. So we are going to be studying California history. That is where we live, in California. And we're going to be learning about the history of our state. And because of that, I thought it would be good to do geography of the USA. This book here does have a little passport that they can add stickers to every time they learn about a different state. In the back of the book are the stickers. It has beautiful pictures. It's very colorful. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to learn about our country. And along with this is the atlas. And Master Books is working on a teacher's guide. So as soon as they are finished with that, I believe it will be done sometime this month. And I like having the teacher's guides because it makes it easier for me. It has a schedule in the front that we could just follow and make things easier. Not too much planning on my part. Every year we also pick a different Shakespeare book. This year we're doing Beautiful Stories from Shakespeare. And this is an older book, but I really love the illustrations in this one. For now, all we do is just go through the different stories and we just read them. Later on down the line, I would like to do the Simply Charlotte Mason. I think it's Shakespeare in 3 Easy Steps, and where you watch the play and there's other things that you do along with that. So I think that would be fun to do also. For poetry, we chose Carl Sandburg, and the reason we chose him was since we're going to be learning about our country and our state. This was a poet that is from the United States, and in the beginning it has a little bit about his life story, and then it goes into the poetry. These books always have beautiful illustrations. That's one of the reasons why I like them. And I also like the biography in the beginning, so we can learn about the poet's life as well. For our artist study, we chose 2 artists. Hopefully we have time to get to both of them. But these are the books we're going to be using. And along with the books, we're going to be using these from Simply Charlotte Mason, and I really like these. You know, the pictures, they are a good size, and then we can display them in our homeschool as we're learning about each artist. For our composers, we chose 2. We might only have time to do 1, and that is okay. But these are the 2 that we chose. We have been doing these for a few years now, a different composer. We have the whole series of these. And along with these, we also do a lap book. Well, my son, he creates a lap book about the composer, and that's been a lot of fun. We also have the CDs that go along with these books that have the songs. So throughout the book, it'll bring you to one of the songs that they composed, and then it'll tell you what CD to listen to and what track. So, and we do that. And that's been really fun. So this will be the first time that my son does anything like this. I wanted this to be like a handicraft. So this is wood carving. This book is for kids, for young kids about my son's age. And they start off with a bar of soap. So before they actually work with wood, they start off with carving bars of soap. And we'll see how this goes. If I feel like he's still a little young, then we'll go ahead and stop and wait another year or so. But these are some of the projects that they will be working on. Each year we also pick a different kids' cookbook. I do want my kids to learn how to cook, and so this year we chose this one. So this is like our home ec, and this book is very colorful, and the recipes are very kid-friendly and something my kids will enjoy doing. For our history this year, we chose Beautiful Feet curriculum, and they have this great package on the history of California, which is where we live, and it's a Charlotte Mason style of curriculum, which is one of the things I mainly look for in curriculum when I'm researching. It looks great. Here you see it covers the history of California by different time periods. First, it starts with the Ice Age, the California Indians, discovery and exploration, the Mission Era, pathfinders and pioneers, the Gold Rush and the Transcontinental Railroad, the 20th century to the contemporary. And there are different books for each of the different time periods. The guide is very well put together. There are beautiful photographs throughout the whole guide. One of the things that I really liked is that it is not just history curriculum. It also includes a nature study, art, poetry, geography, music, a culinary connection, and more. So we are going to use this also for our nature study, our art, some of our poetry, and California geography, along as also for history. So here it gives you a list of the items that you will need along with your books, and here is a picture of the supplies. This is the notebook that actually comes in the package already. So you just need to get watercolor paper, drawing paper, some pencils, and watercolors. These are all the books that are included in the package. We placed our order with all the books, and this book right here was missing from our package, but it is already on our way. I contacted Beautiful Feet company, and they apologized and said our book was on its way. They were very nice and very helpful. So here is the beginning of the lessons. So this is the Ice Age. Here's lesson 1, lesson 2, and it tells you what book to read, what pages, everything you're going to need. This is what the notebook is going to look like. So they're going to be adding journaling different things as they're learning. There is a poem in the back of this guide where they can copy parts of the poem as they go along, and also the pictures that they can color and paint are in the back of the guide as well. There are nature connections to do, that's part of the nature study, and there is also a library connection for every section, for every different time period. So they recommend more books to go along with what you are learning. These you can check out from your library unless you want to purchase them. So I thought we could check some out from our library, and that way some of these books could be used as our story time books. I did purchase some storytime books. I didn't know that this was going to have the library connection, but we can probably choose books from both sides and see what works best for us. So every time period is scheduled in the same way. Here is one of the recipes if you'd like to do that. So at the back of the guide, you will find the nature drawings. So these, the kids can cut them out, color them, and then use them for their notebook. And then it's the timeline in images, sorry. So this will be part of their timeline. And then at the very end is the map, which they say you can photocopy and then you're going to have to tape it together because there's two pieces. And then the kids get to color it as they are learning. And there's also some of these images, the smaller ones, that they can cut out and also put on their state map. So I'm going to show you the books that are included in the package. This is the notebook, and the guide says that once you start using the notebook, it lays flat. So that is a good thing. That is helpful. It is actually a very nice notebook. It is very good quality. And these are the books we're going to be reading. All of these are going to be for our history. It reminds me very much of Heart of Dakota because of all the books. We use very little textbooks in our home. Usually for like reference books, we mainly try to use living books. This book right here looks amazing. It is a really big book. It has beautiful illustrations. It's perfect for my boys. They love trains. So those are all the books that come in the package, minus the one that we are missing that's on its way. For our storytime books, these are the ones that I had picked out. This is the California Gold Rush, an interactive history adventure. So this is one of those books that you get to choose which path you take. There's different endings, things like that. So I thought this would be fun for him. If you were a kid during the California Gold Rush, this is on the missions. This one was part of Rainbow Resource. They also have a package of California history, and this book is part of that package. And this one as well was part of Rainbow Resource, the California history package. This book has some extra things like about the movie makers, and it also has 21 activities. And as I was looking at all the activities, there are some that look a lot of fun that we can probably do. I know living in California, one of the activities is to make an earthquake survival kit. So that is definitely one that I'm going to have my son do, or we can put it together. So also included in the Rainbow Resource Package. There's some extra things like this, a model kit for a covered wagon. This is a timeline. I noticed that this was also from Beautiful Feet Books, but for some reason it didn't come in their package. It came in the Rainbow Resource package. A field guide for birds of California, and one for trees and wildflowers. This is a coloring book of wildlife in California. And it does give you some facts on the different animals. And then it came with this map as well. So I know this is a lot of books, but we're kind of used to all the books because doing Heart of Dakota, it's kind of the same. So when we're going to be studying the missions, we have all these books that I have purchased, used, most of them from our public library when they have their sales. I have got some of these, so we'll just go through these when we're learning about the missions. And this book right here, I liked it because it's about the earliest series of views made in 1856. So it has lots of sketches about the missions before, well, a lot of them are in bad shape now, but this shows them how they first looked in the very beginning. So I thought that was great. Show you is my son's independent reading. He's going to use the Drawn into the Heart of Reading by Heart of Dakota. So the good thing about these is that they can be used with any books that you'd like. So in the beginning, I fill out the calendar. I write down the books he's going to be reading, how many pages per day. So he can do this independently. He just pulls it out and looks at his calendar. And then there are some worksheets to do about the books that he'll be reading. There are, not every day has a worksheet. Only certain days. And sometimes he just reads from his book. So the books that we have chosen are Babe. So I believe it was last year when he read A Mouse Called Wolf, and he really liked that book. That was part of his Heart of Dakota package. And then he noticed that there were other books by the same author, and he really wanted to get them. So we got this one and The Water Horse. He's going to read Pippi Longstockings. This one is Aladdin and Other Tales from the Arabian Nights. This is George MacDonald at the Back of the North Wind. Another George MacDonald, The Princess and Curdie. The Boxcar Children, Encyclopedia Brown, Henry Reed, and Flora and Ulysses. Now, we just pulled these from our bookshelves, but if he doesn't get to read all of these books, that's fine. He'll just read as many as he can within the year. And that is all that we have to show you. I know it was a lot of books, but we love books here in our home, and especially when you do the Charlotte Mason philosophy of education, there's tons of books.